more than this that I didn't know or not figure it out. It occurs to me that many of you don't know me. How many of you know my story? How many don't know my story? Okay. Reader's Digest version of my story. As I have died 6 times. The first time for 2.5 minutes on the operating table after flying off the cliff on a motorbike, wearing a full face helmet and a bikini. They never found the bikini top. I can tell you that light is pure unconditional love. I had the whole near-death experience before it was fashionable. And I wanted with every fibre of my being to go into that light. And I was sent back. And I was furious about that. I have died 6 times in this life. And each time being returned with different uncommon abilities, perspectives, specific to helping and guiding those who are midwifing a new world. I talk to a lot of dead people. Anybody else here talk to dead people? What's that like for you?
Frustrating.
Tell me why.
Because I don't know who it is they're telling me to talk to. I sometimes get sent there without realizing it, and then the conversation comes up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that person was in my dream or in my house. But there's also been times where I don't know where to send the message to. So kind of like a mediumship, but not knowing where to tell the other person at a time.
Who else? Actually, where's Rana? Rana, would you please go and tell the children to either join us or be quieter?
Yes.
Thank you. It's very, very important when we are communicating with disincarnate beings that we know who we're talking to and who is talking to us. Tonight you will have a learned experience of your guides. Your job is to completely release the need to control how that might happen or be experienced by you. If you're clear cognizant, clear knowing, you'll have that, yeah, I already knew that. In fact, clear cognizance is what I use as my truth filter. I don't know if any of you all do, but even if it sounds crazy to your head, if you already knew it, then chances are it's true for you. Has anybody else had that experience? It's a wonderful way of trusting your gut. It's never put me wrong. Has it put either of you, any of you wrong? No. clear cognizance. So feel into clear cognizance. Is it true that I have guides? And just see if there's a deep knowing in me that says yes or no or whatever. Does anybody have an experience of that? Did you feel that?
I have a guide, a spirit guide. Her name is Azul. She's an alien. And when I need guidance, I check in with her and she gives me the message, and that allows me to know if it's like a fuck yes or a fuck no. So, and does that kind of answer your question? Is that kind of like what you're asking?
Actually, that is clairaudience, clear hearing.
Okay.
Who else has experienced clairaudience?
What do you say?
Clairaudience is clear hearing. There's two different kinds of
Sorry,
clairaudience.
that was bad. I didn't even mean to joke.
Oh, sorry.
I have horrible hearing, and so I didn't know that it was hearing. So,
Well, it was. How fabulous.
I know.
There's two
I think
different-
it's more internal hearing though than
Well,
external.
there's two different kinds. The most common one, as you just pointed out, is internal hearing. There is an external clairaudience where I've, for example, heard my name or a turn left now. Has anybody had like that experience?
The radio does it for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The most common clairaudience is that voice in your head that sounds a lot like your voice. Because if it sounded like a big male booming voice, then you'd probably need to change your underwear at the very least, wouldn't you? Every master that's ever walked the earth has told us, listen to the still, small, quiet voice inside of us. So listen, and you will notice that even though it sounds like you, there are subtle differences. The texture is different, the tone is different, it comes in a different part of your head. Try it right now. Ask a question in your mind. Is it true? I have guides. Observe where you ask that question in your head. The answer comes immediately into a different part of your head. What do you experience as you ask that question and receive the answer even before the question has left your mind?
I ask it up here and it answers back here.
Yeah. Who else notices that you ask the question in front of your head and the answer comes in around the back?
Mine fell backwards.
Notices you ask the question in the back and it comes around the front? There's no right or wrong with this. There's no right or wrong. It's simply fascinating to observe. And the biggest, most telling thing is it's not your thought. Have you ever noticed that, where you've had a thought that clearly isn't your thought? I know that we've all been sitting watching telly for the last 2 years, but this is actually an interactive adventure. I'm 3-dimensional and it's nice to give you. You're good at it, Rosie.
Mine's more images, like where people in my life become the players of somebody else's life, and the only reason I can tell is because there's no way they would act that way. And so it's like if I'm working on somebody and I'm getting these images of, say, my husband having an argument with my mother, which like never ever happened, and they wouldn't do that, and my only thought is this must be a way that the energy is showing me what's going on in the other person's energy field, but I don't hear words, I just like see images.
Clairvoyance, clear seeing. Clairvoyance comes as images or light or color, seeing more of what is. And these things, darling, It's not. I hate to break it to you, but it really isn't. Doesn't make it very special or anything like that. It's just I've come to understand that our senses are that we only have one sense, and that there are multiple aspects and facets of the sense: hearing, smelling, tasting, looking, and that, for example, if you look at a piano keyboard, humans can see maybe the middle octave. That doesn't mean that the other octaves aren't there. It just means that we can't see them right now. But in fact, once upon a time, there's evidence to say that we can only see 3 colors. So the tricolored rainbow was talked about. And then as our senses evolved, as we did, we were able to see more and more different colors in the rainbow. Almost everybody can see 7. Most of my students can see 8. There are actually 12 visible, depending on how you're able to see. But yeah, just because you haven't been able to see them doesn't mean they're not there. It's the same as clairaudience. I mean, you don't run up to a dog and go, "Oh my goodness, you're clairaudient," because you can hear sounds that I can't. No, doesn't mean those sounds aren't audible to you. That's all. There is so much more to heaven and earth than there's so much more. And so this is about learning how to access that more, how to hear more, how to see more, how to feel more clear sentience, clear feeling. Take a breath. And softly, softly extend your awareness now to see if you can get a sense of the presences in the room, the non-physical presences in the room. See if you can get a sense of your angels, your guides and guardians, releasing the need to control how you experience this love and support. Perhaps you can feel that hand on your shoulder. Clear sentience. Perhaps you see an image. Perhaps you haven't known. Perhaps when you ask. Thank you for saving me on all those occasions. By the way, what's your name?
I heard Gilgamesh when you said that. I don't know anything about Gilgamesh.
Well, you'll be looking it up later, won't you, darling? Now ask, what's your role in my life, Gilgamesh?
He's not mine though, that's why I said it out loud.
Then tune into yours, Rose. And release the need to control how you experience your guide. What is your role in my life? What do you experience as you ask these questions?
So my grandmother, who passed away when I was very young, 5 years old, but she's like just being a protective energy.
It is so very common when family members or beloveds pass away, that they don't actually leave. They just drop the body. It's so very sad that most people are so caught in the grief of not having their physical presence here anymore. But they don't realise that there's a whole other relationship level available to them now. Soul contracts aren't broken by death. Just because somebody leaves the body doesn't mean they've voided the contract. On so many occasions, they're and now in a much better position to be able to guide. They're not carting around a body that 9 times out of 10 they were done with. This is a way better option. It doesn't even require a cell phone plan. So tune in right now to your guide and say, is this an ancestor or a family member or a beloved who has passed, who was once physical?
Mine is a galactic. Comes through as a blue orb.
What's your role in my life?
Protection and guidance. There's
What's your
also affirmation when I'm sitting with one of my patients. I'll get a glimpse of the blue orb over the shoulder of the person I'm sitting with, and that lets me know that I'm on the right track, or that we're in alignment. We are. There's just an alignment of the person receiving healing or help and my offering to them. So it comes through. And at one point, when I was living in Seattle, I saw many orbs of light, and it scared the shit out of me. And I was alone, and I didn't know what it was or how to process it, but I came to find out that these were spirits, and one of them stayed with me.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I see this orb of light.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it's blue, and she, Celine, she has identified herself.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So it's very important to remember our manners and say thank you
Yeah.
so much for all of the protection. And that brings me to, I want to, it is possible to see and experience that which is not in our highest good. And this is why I would like to do an aura cleanse for everybody. How do you feel about that? Can we do a little group healing aura cleanse? Who here is an empath? Who here takes on other people's stuff?
I do my best not to.
Good and well done, empaths. It's not easy. Who else is feeling affected by the world affairs and the energies and everything else that's going on right now? Yep. So this is an essential skill for anybody, and it will absolutely help with all of your clairs. But most of all, it will. If you, I used to be so sensitive, and I still am, unless I'm doing this. That I couldn't leave my house because I would feel so bombarded by negativity that I would become physically ill. And so I couldn't leave my house for a year. Until finally I said to upstairs management, look, this is just ridiculous. You've got to do something about this if you want me out there doing anything at all. And then somebody who never gives anybody anything gave me a book called Edge of Reality. And in this book, there was the oral cleanser. It changed my life. And I got to know the author. We became good mates. And now I share that because if you do this before you begin your day, your stress levels drop, your energy levels rise, your overall wellness increases beyond your imagining. You stop taking on other people's stuff quite so much. If you do it before sleep, your sleep is more restful, you awaken more refreshed, and if you're journeying, you don't risk coming back and finding a body inhabited. So, who would like to experience that? Right here. So get comfy, my darling.
This speaker.
Absolutely. No worries, no worries. Yes, I think this is, yes, and do a nice little, shall I do a nice little group here? Is there anybody that would like to be included in that? All right, nice sweetheart.
My body may twitch when I hear that.
If your sister starts snoring, just give her a little nudge. So we know, of course, that everybody has an aura. And the average auric size of the auric field in this room is 16 feet around you in every direction. So I want you to imagine how big that is. 16 feet straight up. In front of you, behind you, all around you. You're in the center of a sphere that extends 16 feet around you in every direction. So we're well and truly close enough to be intermingling our auras, aren't we? Doesn't worry us because we're wonderful people. But not everybody who comes within 16 feet of you is somebody you want in your energy field, and I know you know what I mean. So imagine now a glorious light streaming down from the highest source, whatever you perceive that to be. Flowing down over your head, relaxing all the muscles in your scalp, in your face, in your jaw. Why, it's almost as if your mind was a dusty old attic in which all of the doors and windows have been flung open to allow this gorgeous light to breeze through, cleansing everything that it touches, leaving you feeling so very clear, so very light, as if all of the cobwebs have been swept away. Breathe the light down over your neck and shoulders, easing any stress or tension, relaxing each muscle and tissue and sinew as it flows down your arms and hands to tingle at your fingertips. Breathe it deep into your lungs.
Into your chest and upper back.
Inhale it all the way down your spine. Feel this light activating each chakra. Choo, choo. down over your hips, buttocks, over your legs to your feet, and then down, down, down to the center of Mother Earth. Anchor it near this light and bring it slowly back up, gathering all of the deep, rich nourishment, all of the gorgeous centering, grounding and nurturing from Mother Earth. And as it moves up to touch the bottom of your aura 16 feet around you in every direction, see, feel or imagine it moving slowly up, gathering anything dark, everything negative, anything that is not in alignment with your highest self, and evaporating it all like smoke. Now comes a glorious light of unconditional love cascading down around you now. 16 feet around you in every direction, filling you, warm and glorious and sparkling, filling like a glass, filling to overflowing with pink lemonade, sparkling to every cell, singing along every fiber, filling your heart with unconditional love to be pumped around to every cell, every cell, every cell in your entire being. And everything it touches, it cleanses and makes whole again. Let this light fill you until you can no longer contain it, and it streams from every pore and pours from every cell into the space 15 feet around you in every direction, filling you and surrounding you with the light of unconditional love. And it is you, and you are it. And when you have it, filling you completely, surrounding you utterly, and seal it in a magic golden sphere with you in the very center, utterly safe, completely protected, filled by and surrounded in the light of unconditional love, where all is light, darkness is not. Feel how it feels to do this for yourself. Because like attracts like. All that is unconditionally loving is magnetized to you. And anything not for your highest good bounces back off. You're safe. So take a deep breath, 3 deep breaths now. Bringing all of that cleansing, all of that strengthening, all of that nurturing back with you into present time. Anchoring it deep. Sighing it into your body. Wriggling your fingers and toes into having a little stretch. Coming easily back. Easily back into the body. Coming long way down. Come back. Yeah. When you're ready, sit gently up again. Oh, good job. There we go. Would you like the good news to this particular meditation? Is the more the effects of this are both cumulative and progressive. So the more you do it, the better you feel. Did anybody know what did you experience? What was that like for you?
It felt really good.
Very relaxing.
Yeah.
Very open.
This feels like there's a little less ick in my system.
My young woman attributed it to her enlightenment because every time she did it, there was a little less ick in her system. And she became lighter and lighter. It's so yummy. Now, this is how you use it. For those of you who don't know, many years ago, telephones were attached to the wall. And there was no call waiting. You had to pick up the telephone, and whether you liked it or not, you would find out who was on the other end. And this is how it would look when my mum would ring. Mum, hi, just a minute. How are you? If I did not take the time to do that, I would be destroyed at the end of the call. Who here has psychic vampires in their life? Probably might even be terribly nice people. But you know that they're a psychic vampire when you leave their presence just exhausted, drained. If you want to keep these people in your life, teach them how to cleanse and seal. On my website, experiencejoy.com, you can remember that. There is the aura cleanse, and I will send you the link for it. If you don't want them around, you'll notice that they will drop away because they don't know why. They're not getting what they're used to getting from you. Just not as attractive. Why did you notice that it will raise your vibration, and sometimes this can have unexpected and challenging consequences. I learned this when I was young, and I would love getting dressed up all sexy and going out and dancing at the clubs. And I would of course cleanse and seal my aura before walking into the club, because only a crazy person, having known these skills, doesn't use them when you're walking into a club. And nobody could see me except a few people that were at my vibration. I had people try and sit on my lap because they didn't see that I was sitting there. Waitresses, just like, nobody. I danced sexy in the days, and even now, you know, it's like, come on. No, nobody's except for those people. So you will notice that as you do this, you begin to raise your vibration, and it's a weird experience, but certain people and things will drop away, that which is no longer in alignment with who you are becoming. And this is wonderful, because you have to make room for what you're praying in. And as you raise your vibration, that which is in the old vibration falls away, and that which is at the new vibration that you're at is attracted to you. Now you are in a new vibration in this room with these women. Make the most of it. You're here for a reason. Don't disappoint yourself. Go home and not consolidate these connections. You're here for these connections. I know when I haven't done the aura cleanse. Well, okay, so the first time I realised it, my daughter, we were walking through Carrara markets, and my little girl said, "Mummy, have you cleansed and sealed your aura?" Why? Everybody was breathing my air. Now I can move about in the world in any kind of area and remain in my centre. And the people who aren't supposed to see me don't see me. H2O is the same molecule, but when it's vibrating real slow, it's ice. You heat it up, so you've got water, then you've got steam, you basically become steam. It's very handy, especially when you're driving past police officers. Cleanse and seal your house and your car. Makes a big difference, especially with the car, all these crazy bastards on the wrong side of the road. Take a deep breath. Any questions? On cleansing and sealing your aura. You notice that the more you do it, the more your clairs will be accessible to you. The more you have the ick removal process, it's like the veils are taken away. Who's able to see a bit more clearly, experience a little bit more intensely after that? It's an ick removal device. That the more you do it, the better you feel. Okay. Can I have a time check? I've got no idea.
I can tell you right now.
Time vortex here.
It's 9:38.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh dear, oh dear. There's so much I want to teach you and share with you, and we're running out of time.
Shall I stop the camera?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Or stop and start, whichever.